Okay, before I get into this video, you guys got to check out and pick up at least one of these solar power cells. It's portable, it's durable, and it's reliable. And if you don't have a wall outlet to charge it up, you can always throw it out in the sun and let the sun do the charging for you. It's got two outlets so you can power two devices at once. It keeps a charge for a long time, and it's got a cool flashlight that stays on forever. My link with your discount code is in the description below. Okay, I've been reading a lot of comments under this video that I did about the supposed good cop who got fired for supposedly standing up against tyrants and tyranny. The title of the video is Good Seattle Cop Fired for Viral Freedom Video. Now, when I originally uploaded the video, I forgot to put quotation marks around the word good and freedom. And I want to admit that the first time Trish and I listened to this video, we were probably looking at the screen like horses staring at a new gate. While some of what he said seemed a little off and weak, like his misuse of the word anarchy and being afraid that the tyrannical actions of law enforcers would wake a sleeping giant, that's Americans, where Americans won't tolerate having their rights trampled anymore, and law enforcement officers will have their ability to enforce the law stripped from them in about 10 minutes. Both of these actions would be a net positive for the people, but he kind of paints it out like it'd be a negative thing. Here's what he said.
And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that these actions are going to wake a sleeping giant, i.e. the American people, okay? They are going to be put in a position where they won't have their rights trampled anymore. And us as law enforcement officers, we'll have our ability to enforce the law stripped from us in about 10 minutes, okay?
Another red flag, as I pointed out in the last video, is that it's not good to maintain respect for his clearly tyrannical commanding officer. Other than that, it seems like almost everything this guy said was anti-tyranny and pro-freedom. For the most part, the majority of the people are responding positively to Greg Anderson's two videos. Could that fact be a reason to throw a red flag? Well, yes and no. This could be an organically viral video that has somehow managed to overcome the algorithms. On the other hand, it could be going viral because the algorithms have been set to favor him. So let's just ask a couple questions. There are some under my pinned comment stating emphatically that this is a psychological operation. Is that possible? Definitely. So you got to ask yourself, since psychological operations have an end goal in mind, what is the end goal in this case? Could there be a dilution of the understanding of true freedom in these videos? Of course, this danger is always present. A truly successful psyop gets the slaves to believe that they are not bound by chains or surrounded by electrified razor wire fences. Social engineers who formulate a successful psychological operation understand that none are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe that they are free. So this could be a psychological operation by him tipping his hat to the tyrannical commanding officer while at the same time claiming to be doing what is right and expressing disdain for tyrannical cops. What we have in both videos are some pretty stark contradictions. But is it possible that this respect that he still has for his commanding officer is simply a mistake on his part as someone who's just escaping the clutches of extreme state-run authoritarianism and he just needs more time to cleanse the BS out of his mind while he makes his way through his journey like the rest of us? Yeah, that could be happening as well. And we have to be honest with that fact. Others in the comments section brought up the fact that he mentioned 3 several times in the second video. He was contacted 3 days after the initial video upload. He was then contacted 3 hours after the video went viral, and he has 3 kids. And his Instagram name ends in 33, while his wife's name ends in 333. 33 is the number for Freemasonry, and virtually every police department around the country has operated as a Freemason, anti-freedom, pro-tyranny organization. Could it be that he's a deceptive Freemason promoting his nonsense as he wraps himself in the good-sounding words of liberty and truth? The answer is yes. It's a possibility that we should consider as critical thinkers. Is it a possibility that him having 3 kids and that he was contacted by his command 3 days after the video and that he and his wife had other reasons for putting 3s behind their name on their Instagram accounts? Yeah, that's a possibility too. Can we point to these things and objectively conclude that this is proof that he's a New World Order shill running a clever psychological operation? Well, for some, this seems to be all the proof you need, but I'm not convinced. Now, there is the issue of the boatload of money that he's raking in and will rake in the coming weeks on the GoFundMe page that his wife's best friend supposedly set up for him. When I did my previous video, he'd accumulated $13,000 and their goal was only $10,000. It looks like when they saw their content was going viral and that people were sympathetic to his supposed plight of facing termination, they decided to raise the goal to $50,000. Now they're up to $56,000 in donations. And I just hit the refresh button before completing this video and the amount soared to over $75,000. They literally gained $19,000 in 41 minutes. He has now just accumulated in one day what it probably took him a year to make as a cop. And we got to ask ourselves, is it possible that he wanted to get out of his job as a cop so bad that they put their heads together and decided what would make a good viral video? Could they have said, okay, hey, let's get Greg in full uniform in his cruiser with some of his state-issued equipment in the background and make a video calling out the tyrannical cops, which would certainly strike a chord in people who are growing sick and tired of the despotic police state orders being forced down our throats through this whole pandemic. And then set up a GoFundMe page where he's sure to rake in a whole pile of cash. Because guys, this GoFundMe train looks like it's just gaining momentum. We got to be honest with ourselves. This is a possible scenario. Do I know if that's what their motives were? No. Could Greg's motives be pure? Yes. This guy could genuinely care about freedom, but we don't need to turn our minds off and let our guards down. I'm just not willing to make a judgment on the guy until I see evidence either way. So far, I'm not convinced. So what do you guys think? Is this a psychological operation for sure? If you believe it is, what's the concrete evidence? Or is this guy the real deal? And if you think he is, how did you arrive at that conclusion? Let me make one more observation that we have to come to grips with. He's been an employee of the state for years. He's worked for and with the criminal thin blue line, and he's enforced unconstitutional laws and trampled the freedoms of no telling how many people during his career. And now he's claiming to condemn those tyrannical actions and the tyrants while he supposedly honors freedom and liberty. This is tantamount to a mafia member in Al Capone's gang making a video about the evils in the Capone crime family and yet remaining in the same criminal cartel until such a time as they cut him off. The bottom line is this guy's going to have to prove that he's the real deal. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and sign up to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support this channel, grab one of these hard-hitting, conversation-starting shirts from the shirt store. Your purchase helps me produce more content. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.
They wanna see, but they're hunting me. Don't know what they want from me. So here I am again, running amok. My luck is up, I'm stuck like Chuck. My brain's been picked and plucked, I'm fucked. My mortal enemy is stuck.